In January 2024, I was 200 pounds. My average blood pressure was 152/82, and my A1C was 9.1%. A year later, I had lost 44 pounds and my blood pressure and my blood glucose were normal. If you're considering trying keto, here are my top 10 tips.
Number 1, get clear on why you want to do keto. Want to say anything about that?
Yeah, I think you'll be more likely to keep going if you know why you're doing it. Like for me, the big why was to be healthier, and be around for my old age, to be with Dev and the kids and the grandkids,
Yeah, I would actually add on to that. You've probably, if you're trying to get healthier, maybe you've tried a lot of different ways, including calorie counting and different things, and sort of know enough about keto. And if you feel like you're getting into it just because, wow, it sounds great to have like 4 steaks in a day, maybe it's not necessarily the right thing for you, if you're just like kind of don't know enough about it, maybe. Yeah, because I've actually had people say that, like kind of like feel like, oh, that much meat is really bad for you, as though, you're sitting around like eating 4 steaks, Yeah.
Though some people might be, I don't know.
True.
I'm a big believer that different things work for different people.
Good point. Good point.
So, number 2, find support online or in person, or both, preferably.
Yeah, that's like a super important tip, because it's sort of hard to kind of do alone if you don't at least have an accountability buddy. And so luckily, we have each other for this.
Yeah.
And you have other things, right? You're online. Don't you have people online who you listen to?
Yeah. I have Dr. Boz, Dr. Jason Fung, Ben Azadi from Keto Camp, like all kinds of people I found online. And then within the comments, you can find a really supportive community too. And maybe, hey, you decide that you have a lot you want to share with these people, and you form your own Facebook group or something,
Yeah, good point. Number 3, don't tell anyone about keto. Why do you think that's an important tip?
Well, what I said was, don't talk to anyone else except for your support group about keto until you've been doing it for at least 90 days. And the reason I said that was because, carb addiction is, really a big problem in this world. And so mostly what you're going to get when you explain what the keto diet is to people is a lot of discouragement.
Right. A lot of people misunderstanding what you're trying to do. Like, with my point with the other one, like think that you're just, in it for a different reason. And then there's sort of all of the kind of culture around diet and information around, what we're supposed to eat. It's, different people have different ideas, right? And so they're going to maybe think that your idea is unhealthy. Like, for example, when Sue first started telling me about intermittent fasting, it's like my mind really went to kind of like, oh, but people, if they don't eat enough, aren't they going to be ill? Or, you don't want to starve yourself to lose weight, which is a misunderstanding of what keto is and what intermittent fasting is. And so, yeah, don't tell anybody, I would say, until, not necessarily your support group, but until you're sort of solid. You're really solid within, why you're doing it. You're having some success already, you have confidence in it yourself, and you're able to kind of, not let what they're saying get in your head. So at the beginning, for sure, don't tell anybody else, because they're just gonna, well, we've had experience with that. Like, well, come on, a little bit of bread's okay. Everything in moderation, all that.
And also after 90 days, you'll have your own lived experience of eating keto, and you'll know that it's not going to kill you, and you'll probably have some pretty good results already. So what other people say won't matter as much.
The next tip is to create a change plan. What do you have to say about this?
Create a change plan. Do not decide after you watch this video, I'm going to try keto and then start. No, there needs to be a plan, because my experience has been is small incremental change is the best change, the most sustainable change. And there comes with it, keto, a lot of major changes in your body. So you don't want to do this on a Monday, when you are your busiest and like most stressed out. You want to really time it well, the transition,
Yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, change plan. And also to, that gives you time to sort of educate yourself about what keto is and what keto isn't, and just really be solid in your footing so that you'll have success. That's like a good rule of thumb for anything. Just kind of don't on a whim get started on it, because chances are it may not be sustainable.
Like you might even just start by changing the oils you're using in your cooking. Like you could just switch from inflammatory vegetable oils to like olive oil, coconut oil, butter, and let that be your first change, or maybe just start logging on an app like Carb Manager and see how many carbs you're consuming a day. Not try to change how many, just see how many you're eating on average. And then once you're comfortable with that process, you could start cutting by like 20%, right? And just do that until you're comfortable with that cut, and then cut another 20%. Don't hurt yourself. Don't go cold turkey. If carbs have been your mainstay in your diet for your entire life, consider a more gradual and gentle plan.
Yeah, no, that's sound thinking. It reminds me of that joke, what's the easiest way to eat an elephant? Not a joke, but what's the easiest way to eat an elephant? One bite at a time. That sort of idea of scaffolding or breaking it up into smaller pieces that you try, and then once you have that solid, keep it moving.
Exactly. I also, as I create a change plan, like to plan rewards for myself so that I feel motivated. Okay, after 2 weeks of consistently meeting this goal, I get to go have dinner with a friend, of course, a keto meal with a friend, but still
right.
something that is going to make me feel good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we did that as we were moving through. We were eating at that great place in Alameda that had great keto food. And it's just something to look forward to. You've been working really hard, on keto, and you're going to stay keto, but you're going to maybe have someone else cook the food. So,
right.
Yeah.
And then number 5, buy glucose and ketone monitors if you're doing this for health reasons. So if you're trying to reverse diabetes, or you have really bad insulin resistance and you want to try keto, I think it's a lot easier if you have the equipment to measure your ketones and your glucose, Yeah.
Even if you don't think you have issues, it might bring some things to light that you want to know. For example, I bought one. No, I didn't buy one. I was using her ketone meter, right? And I wasn't in ketosis, eating the same things that she was eating. So I found out that I did have a little bit of insulin resistance going on. And then, finally it sort of leveled out, and I was able to be eating the same things and stay into ketosis for the same amount of time. So it might sort of bring to light things. And then we actually figured out like, let's switch up things a little bit, maybe a little bit less red meat, maybe, more salmon, whatever. We kind of played with what we're eating a little bit. So you can actually find out what things are working better for you as far as staying in ketosis.
Yeah, and it used to be that you had to have diabetes to get a continuous glucose monitor, but now those are available
Costco
over the counter. Yeah, at Costco they have some. I don't know if they have these newest ones you don't need a prescription for. There's a Stello and a Lingo. Anyway, Google those. Maybe one of those is at Costco. But I know the Lingo one's like $40.
It's really reasonable.
If you're able to get a prescription, we're able to get ours for $20.
Yeah.
And those are great because then you don't have to prick yourself every day, and you can like see all the subtleties that happen in your glucose, throughout the day. Like some things you wouldn't even think are going to spike your blood sugar will.
Yeah, that's actually interesting too, because it sounds like, oh boy, you're really following these kind of maybe serious markers, but actually it sort of gamifies it. Like Sue's always like counting and writing down. It's time for me to write down, what my different levels in the different areas are. So it kind of makes it fun.
Yeah.
By sugar-free electrolyte and ox bile supplements.
So sugar-free electrolytes, they're going to help you keep your electrolyte balance as you're getting used to keto, because as you produce ketones, you're also shedding a whole lot of water. And so with the water goes the salt, and it can be really uncomfortable. That's what causes what they call the keto flu. So especially at the beginning and even later, it's a good idea to have some electrolytes, but especially at the beginning, have some of those on hand. And I think Element's really good, but I'm sure there are less expensive ones. In fact, I think we bought a less expensive one. I can't remember the brand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did. I can't either. It was like came in a tub. We bought it on Amazon. Mm-hmm. I would suggest like buying like not a bunch of it at first, because even though Sue talks about just spoke about the seriousness of, you might get the keto flu and you're shedding all the salt. Some people don't find it very tasty. I'm one of those who don't find it very tasty. And I think if I'd been living alone and trying keto and had spent a bunch of money on a lot of it initially, it might just go to waste. Like, for example, we have some just sitting in the cupboard right now because we're not needing it as much because we've been keto for a while. But yeah, almost with everything that you buy that's keto, I would suggest just buying a bit of it at first, right? Mm-hmm. And then seeing if you like it, and maybe there's another way to sort of supplement. So about the ox bile?
Yeah, and the ox bile supplements, I didn't learn about this till after I started keto, but it's to help you metabolize fat. If you've been on the standard American diet, you've been eating very low fat. And so your body's like, oh, what is all this? Like to suddenly be eating like 75% of your calories in fat can be kind of a shock to your system and cause some discomfort. So I heard on Keto Camp to try ox bile supplements, and those are also available on Amazon. And it made a big difference at the beginning. Suddenly my body could handle all the fat I was putting in it.
Yeah. Since we mentioned it a couple of times, Amazon, I want to make sure that all these things know that we're not being sponsored by them. Well, no. We'd love to be, but we're not being sponsored by them.
Number 7, start reducing your carb use. So I started on this earlier, but if you don't mind logging, it's a great way to figure out how many carbs you're consuming in a day. You could also just kind of on a piece of scratch paper, write down the number of net carbs and everything that you're consuming that has carbs. Some things don't. That's why we love butter and meat and fish, because there's no carbs there. Cheese. A lot of cheeses. Some cheeses have a little bit, but most cheeses have 0. And the kinds I really like sharp cheddar and Parmesan. It's like so nice that some of my favorite cheeses don't have any carbs.
Does Compozola have carbs?
No.
So yummy. Yeah.
Any kind of aged gooey cheese, probably not.
Nice. The next one is clear out all the garbage in your home. So I like that's cute the way you said garbage. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if it's not in your house, this is such a good tip. It's not in your house, it's not going to tempt you, right? And you might get into you don't want to waste food. I mean, give it away.
And there are plenty of food pantries out there that will take your shelf stable food. And you probably have friends that aren't keto that would be happy to take a box of pasta off your hands,
Absolutely.
And it's just important to not have any of that in your house at the beginning. And personally, I don't want it in my house now, even after all the time we've been, 18 months now, sugar-free and consistently keto. I don't want that stuff in my house. I don't trust that it's not going to call to me. Sugar will call to you if it's in the cupboard. Don't let it live there.
Yeah. Actually, I want to say a little bit about something more about getting the garbage out of your home. Don't sort of, I have this loaf of bread. Why don't I just eat it? Because it'll be my last time with bread. Because that's part of like ramping yourself up slowly. If you eat a bunch of carbs during the time when you're creating your change plan, and then the next day jump on it, you're going to really be suffering. So don't binge on your favorite parts of it and then go ahead and start, the keto plan. Don't eat that entire box of Oreos or whatever. I hate Oreos, actually. I always did. But yeah, don't eat that entire packet of Oreos.
Yeah, and that doesn't really go with the whole gradual change either.
But some people might do that rather than like throw away maybe this thing they just bought. They're going to kind of eat it. Yeah, and they're creating the change plan and they're still going to start tomorrow, but they've been, kind of going to town on something,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you can do that if you need to, but it's going to hurt.
It's going to hurt bad.
It's going to hurt. And I suggest if you're going to clear out the garbage in your kitchen, you might want a support person, to be there with you to, number one, keep you honest so that you're not holding on to some cookies in the back of the cupboard or something. And also to just kind of witness what you're doing, because it's hard. It's hard to throw away your favorite food or give away your favorite food.
Yeah, I think actually it wasn't like discussed, but I think we hung on to some rice in the cupboard because we had sort of just bought it and it was like kind of a full bag of rice. And we're not eating rice right now, but let's hang on to the rice just in case we hung on.
Well, because I was still like, on the holidays, we
might have rice.
Carbs,
right, yeah. But we still kept it in the cupboard for a while until we gave it to a friend after we'd cleaned out all the other garbage. Oh, yeah, and we actually had, we're telling you, cleared out all out. Yeah, it was like kind of on a high cupboard that we couldn't get there. And then we still actually had a couple of other things just that we couldn't reach easily, and then finally we gave those away.
Well, and those were Famiko's things.
Right. At that time we were taking care of my mother-in-law, who was, we weren't having her be keto, and we were having her enjoy whatever she wanted. So yeah, we had some of the things on the shelf.
We kept them up high so we couldn't get there
easily. Right. Yeah.
But yeah, get a friend to help you if you can.
Yep. Good idea.
Number 9. Meal and snack plan and make a grocery list. Now, I think this is pretty basic for a lot of people, but I know a lot of people who've never made a meal plan or a grocery list in their life. They just kind of like figure out what they feel like when they get to the store and then put it in the cart and come home and somehow make meals out of whatever they bought, right? But like, when it comes to being new on keto, you really want to think it out. Like, what am I going to want to eat this first week with very low carbs? You want to think that out, and also have enough snacks in the house so that when you get hungry, there's something there that's keto and you're not tempted to go out and get something that, isn't there.
Right, exactly. Like, we'll have like some nuts or some cheese or some sort of like, high quality lunch meat type thing, and yeah, I mean, it's really important so that you kind of, when you get those cravings, you know what you're going to. You have your plan. You know what you're going to. Yeah. The next one is shop for at least 1 week. So yeah, you want enough things in the house so that you're not like kind of heading out to the store earlier than you meant to be, and you just kind of don't have it together enough to really be able to get the things that you need to stay on keto. So yeah.
Yeah, it cracks me up like how many grown adults I've known who've never shopped for an entire week before. But I think it's essential when you're starting on a new diet to have everything you need for the first week, so you're not having to go out and grab this or grab that, because guess what else is at the store? All the carbs. They're all there.
Yeah, you're saying like you don't know how many grown adults, but I think that's might be common for some single people too. You were raising kids and you had to make sure there were food and there were meal plans and stuff, but I think a lot of single people are ones who do that. And yeah, there were a lot of times when I bought for the week, and there were a lot of times when I just sort of figured it out night by night. So yeah, which
is fine, right? If you're not trying to eat a certain way, but if you are, it's important that you stay stocked with stuff.
Yeah, it was actually deadly when then too, because I wouldn't be paying attention to what's in this or necessarily necessarily, right? And often it was like at Trader Joe's, whatever they were sampling, I was like, I'll get that, because that's yummy, and you don't know what's in that stuff. You don't have a plan. So have a plan. Have a plan.
Yeah. And best of luck to you.